Okay, man, it's always great to go on the road and win in this conference, Southeastern Conference for sure. Tough environment, hard-fought game. Just so proud of our defense. You know, I think one thing when you go on the road, it's always great when your defense travels, and ours traveled today. Fantastic game. Jade, another great performance for him. I think he had 7 tackles, a sack, 2 TFLs, an interception. Alfred Collins, another monster game with, I think, 7 tackles, a sack, TFL, and then the forced fumble there late was a huge play. Baron Sorrell, great game. Colin Simmons, a couple sacks. So defensively, against a really good offense, that was a heck of a performance. I thought offensively, we actually found our rhythm a little bit better here in the second half. It was just minimal possessions. You know, I think we only had 4 possessions in the second half, the way the game went. And we had, a field goal drive down there inside the 10. We had a touchdown drive, we had a punt, and then to get the ball with just under 7 minutes to go in the game and to close the game out with the ball in our possession was really good execution by the guys in the second half. So all in all, really proud of our guys. Great performance for these guys on the road, and the mission continues.
Steve, I know you've been all about an 11-man defense this year. 11-man defense this year, but can you just talk about Jade's performance? I mean, do you guys win this game if you don't have number 7?
Well, that's hard to say, but I know he had a heck of a game. You know, he's such a versatile guy, you know, because, you know, he's savvy in his coverages and his blitzing and things, but yet, you know, he's got a knack for the football. His football IQ is really high. His awareness is high. And I think he provides that something for our guys defensively. You know, a lot of guys do, but you know, I think the mentality he brings to the stadium every Saturday is what he brings every day in practice, and I think the guys respond to him that way.
Thomas, go ahead. Coach, you know, 3 years ago, a lot of people in the SEC said, you know what, Texas isn't tough enough to come in here and win. But the manner of this game, talking about kind of the toughness,
yeah.
Where's this team at mentally compared to 3 years ago?
Well, I think I think we're even the players are saying it. The guys that were here, 3 years ago, are saying we're a different team. And I think it's pretty evident we are. There's a level of physicality you have to play with in this conference, and on the road, when you can play defense like that and minimize that explosive offense, and then when you can run the football when they know you have to run it, that's really effective offensive football too. And those two things take. Yes, you got to be physical enough to do it, but you got to be able to execute. Playing defense like that, and then running the ball and having to get those yards to close out a ball game. So I do think we're light years different from where we were. But the beauty of it is I don't think anybody in that locker room is content. I think they know there's more work to be done. We got to continue to try to improve in all 3 phases. But the versatility of this team, I think, is probably somewhere where we weren't 3 years ago either. We can win games different ways. And to win this style of a game, I think, was important for us.
Kirk?
The defense, you have an elite defense, the luxury of that. Do you call the game differently offensively, maybe more aggressive, take more chances because you have that defense?
I think it goes both ways. Sometimes when you're playing such great defense, you want to make sure you're not giving up any short fields or taking too many chances sometimes with the way that game was going. And so I thought one of the more impressive things for us in this game was 2-0 in the turnover margin. And first time this year, us taking care of the ball. The football gods were on our side on the fumble there by Blue. So I think that just kind of, the ball matters too, of us being able to take care of the ball, creating those turnovers, and winning games in different styles and different ways.
Josh in the middle.
Aside from that Blue fumble, that last drive when, they're coming back, you guys need points. Just what does that say about just, the older guys, right? As a veteran team, you guys needed a drive and you put together a drive.
Yeah, and I think when you lean on those veteran players, right? Obviously Quinn being a veteran, that offensive line, although, Matt Golden, wasn't here his first couple years, he's played a lot of football. It was a heck of a catch by him on the touchdown. That drive started with a pass to Isaiah Bond. So it was a lot of guys who have been around football for a while, and I don't think the moment ever got too big for them. I thought they showed great poise and composure, which we knew was going to be needed in this game.
In the back, Kevin.
What was your take on Quinn's performance overall?
I thought he played pretty efficiently. They just, they were going to play it in a manner and a style where they were going to try to keep the ball in front of them and make us, work the ball down the field. And when you get into games like this, the possessions start to matter. They start to count because the clock starts working in each team's favor when they do it that way. They were running the ball really effectively too, especially in that third quarter. So when you just don't have as many opportunities, you got to try to maximize them when you get them. But again, him taking care of the football, converting on third downs, and what a play for him there on the fourth down to kind of seal the game. So I was proud of him for that.
Back by the camera. No.
Coach, how much of the defensive performance today is a mentality thing rather than just X's and O's?
Well, I think there's a point to be made of that. Like that is when the confidence continues to build, and it's one thing to the scheme be right, but it's another when guys play with that mentality that they're going to defend the end zone, and then they're going to try to take the ball off you, and they're going to try to get after the quarterback, and they're going to try to do those things mentally, and you could see guys attacking the football. We weren't knocking it out all the time, but I could see guys going after it, and then Alfred eventually gets the one. So I just think we're playing with the style now defensively that is one of, these guys take a lot of pride in the way we play defense, and that's the beauty of it being a great team. I think so many times with me, especially being an offensive head coach, I get asked about offense a lot, but we're trying to build a great team here, right? And do that consistently over time. And our defense has improved every single year that we've been here. And I think that's a credit to PK and the staff. I think it's a credit to the veteran players in that locker room who didn't ever lose belief as we continue to grow as a program. But to be a complete team and to try to win as many games as we're trying to win this year, we got to be really good in all three phases.
Over here, Brandon.
How much, I know every coach handles this differently, but you're mid-November now. How much do you discuss winning an SEC championship and playoff stuff with your players?
I'm not one to shy away from that kind of stuff. I mean, I think we all know what our goals are for the season. We want to be in Atlanta in December, compete for an SEC championship. And we want to be playing January 20th. But I don't have to belabor the point. I don't have to talk to it all the time with our guys. They know, and then once they know, and then we get focused on the task at hand, and that's the next week's game. And we'll celebrate this one here, getting home, and then it's on to Kentucky.
On your left, Anwar.
Coach, you talked about your defense traveling. We've seen it happen this year, obviously, in Michigan, of course, Vandy. What's been the key for your defense playing so well, especially in hostile environments?
Well, I think one, we're minimizing the explosive plays. We're not giving up yards in chunks. I think we gave up the one deep ball down their sideline, but we're making people earn it. And you make people earn it by one, being stout and having the ability to make your plays, but two, there's not a bunch of busts, right? Our coverages are sound. We're gap sound in the run game and those types of things. And then it's having good players that make plays when you got to have it, and our guys are doing that right now.
Stay over there, Cedric.
You missed some deep shots early. What's your concern level with the vertical game, and also how comfortable are you with ground and pound like you guys did at the end?
Yeah, again, they were going to make it really difficult for us to hit some shots down the field. I got to look at the film and see exactly what and why. But every game's different. Every game takes on a life and a personality of its own. And then it's my job to adjust things to put ourselves and our team in the best position to try to win the game. And I felt like we had to, reestablish ourselves on the ground coming out of halftime. I told the team that at halftime, that was the plan. And so that we could stay ahead of the sticks, stay out of third longs, extend drives, and play efficient football. So, you have to adjust. I think that's part of, we talked about play calling here, I think earlier in the week, that you have a plan, and then in game you have to be able to adjust those things to put your team in the best position to win the game, and not worry so much about the stats and the numbers. How are we going to win the game? Because the one stat that matters is the W coming out of here today.
Right in the middle.
Coach, Arkansas defense really struggled against Ole Miss. What did you think about their performance today, and what were they doing that were causing you guys problems?
Yeah, no, I thought we knew coming in, that wasn't their best game, but we knew we'd get a different version again, especially with them having the bye and having 2 weeks to prepare and making some adjustments. They played exclusively with the 3 safety defense, with guys deep, and they were going to try to make us earn it and see how patient we would be moving the football. And that's when you get in the locker room at halftime, you make those adjustments. And again, I thought we played really efficient football in the second half. So I was proud of the guys that way.
On your left, Justin.
Coach, 13-10, they have all the momentum in the world. What are you telling Quinn? What are you telling him? Because you needed that drive, and he delivered.
Yeah, no, I think that the key was let's just go execute. That we weren't gonna we're going to go into a shell. We were going to call things that we felt like were going to be really effective calls in the game, and we were able to get Blue and Trey kind of on the perimeter. We were able to get the completion to IB, and he finds Juan Davis on a great check down there in the low red, which I thought was a big play as well to set up the touchdown to Matt. So the ball, what I love about that drive is the ball touched a lot of different people's hands on that drive, and that's when we're at our best. It's not about one guy or two guys having to play really well. It's everybody's going to get their opportunities, and I thought that showed up on that drive in particular.
Two last ones, CJ.
Yeah, Coach, I was going to ask about the emotion that you and Coach Banks shared on that fourth down keeper by Quinn. Just what did this win, mean, not just for the program, but for you as well?
Yeah, no, I think, Coach Banks and I both know. We've been part of this conference now for some time when we were at Alabama. And going on the road in this conference is not easy, and especially when it's a rivalry game and the environment was what it was. And you get in hard-fought games. And, I think, not to talk about them, but it's important. Like, I think we look at Alabama thinking all those years with Coach Saban, they just went and blew everybody out. You have to find a way to win the tough games, right? If not, that's the difference between an 11-1 team and a 8-4 team, right? Because they didn't win those tight games, and for us to find a way to win this one was good, because we were talking about 4th and 2. Do you kick a field goal? Do you go for it? We decided to go for it, and then to call a zone read, something that we don't do a whole lot of, and Quinn to make that play. Those are the moments that you love, like I told the team in there, like, don't let these moments go by without taking it in, because these are the memories that are going to last a lifetime, and they're going to remember being in that locker room today, especially the guys that were here a few years ago and what that felt like. So we were, as coaches, we're the same way. We had to walk off that field a few years ago too, with thousands of people on the field running around us.
Last one, Kurt.
Is Matthew Golden your best receiver?
Well, he's playing really good. He's got such strong hands. I think there's a great deal of trust between Quinn and Matt, and he's definitely extremely effective in the red area when you have to make those catches in tight quarters. Now, the first one was pretty easy. He got wide open on that one, but it was sure a heck of a catch there in the fourth quarter for the touchdown.
Quinn looked the guy off, looked the safety off, did that open up Golden on that first?
Yeah, a little bit, and there was we faked a little bit of a bubble screen with he, and I think it was Wingo was with him, and he kind of slipped it, and I think Quinn did a good job kind of pump faking the bubble and go. So
thanks, Coach.
Already